Am I the asshole for being uncomfortable with my boyfriend's friend calling me BH? For context, I am a 31F living with my boyfriend, Mike, who is 34. Mike has a friend, Victor, who comes over a lot. Yesterday, Victor came over to watch baseball with Mike. Victor asked me to pass him a beer, so I passed one over, but I dropped it. It didn't crack open or anything, but he said, "Nice one, bitch." I was honestly shocked and said, "Excuse me?" He started laughing and Mike joined in. I was very uncomfortable and genuinely didn't know what to say. I told Victor that I didn't appreciate him calling me a bitch. He got super defensive and said he was saying it, jokingly. I said it doesn't matter how you were trying to say it, I am uncomfortable. He got very huffy and said I was just being sensitive. And then he said, "And you're probably going to accuse me of being a sexist now, aren't you? Can't say anything these days." This was wild because A, I didn't say anything about sexism, and B, what do you mean, can't say anything? Can't call women bitches unsolicited anymore? What even was his point here? Mike hadn't said anything during this interaction until I called him out. I asked why he wasn't defending me and he said, "IDK babe, you're being a bit dramatic." At this point I'd had enough, so I told them to leave and they went to Victor's to watch the game. Up until this point I thought I was in the right until Mike texted me angrily. He said I'd embarrassed him in front of a friend by being so melodramatic and SJWY. He said Victor didn't mean any harm, and it was like how my friends call me bitch lovingly, jokingly. He also said it was uncalled for me to kick him and Victor out of the house when Mike literally lives there. I said it's completely different because my friends make sure I'm okay with it and don't say it in a derogatory manner like Victor did. Plus, my friends are wonderful women who have supported me for years, not some friend of my boyfriend's who I barely know. And I was supposed to just let myself be disrespected in my own home? He called me annoying again and then turned notifications off. He slept over last night. Victor lives alone, and hasn't come home yet. I think I might be the asshole because it's true that my friends call me bitch, and although it's different as I said above, it's possible that it confused Victor and made him think that was okay. I also didn't mean to make Victor uncomfortable, put him in the hot seat as a guest in my house. Am I the asshole? Edit. Accidentally referred to Victor as Lucas. These are fake names and I changed my mind halfway through making the post lol. Edit 2. Oh my god. I was not expecting this to blow up like it did. I am so incredibly grateful for every single one of you who commented and I feel so supported. It's impossible for me to respond to everyone, but know that I'm reading your comments and I'm so thankful. I'm working things out right now, but I am safe. Thank you so much for the concern. I'll add a longer explanation and update later today when everything gets settled. A lot has happened since I made this post, so I want to be able to update properly. Much love to you all. I am so overwhelmed with your kindness, sparkling heart. Update. This will probably be my final update considering the thread is now locked, which is sad. Firstly, thank you all so much for all the support. It means so much to me. I'm so overwhelmed reading all the comments telling me that I deserve better, that I haven't wasted my time with Mike, that I'm worth more. It truly means the world. Also, thanks for all the lovely PMs I've been receiving. Reading these comments have made me realize that I'm still young and have my life ahead of me, and I am sure I don't want to spend it with a man like Mike, especially after what happened today. Today has been wild. To start, Mike didn't come home last night, meaning he has now spent 2 nights over there instead of confronting the issue like a mature adult. He didn't even text me to let me know that he was alive. So I texted him saying that I didn't appreciate at all what happened and that we should talk about it if there is any chance of saving this relationship. He sent me these wild paragraphs that basically said, "Fine, leave me. Good luck finding someone else who will want to fuck you. You'll never find another man because you're just another annoying crazy bitch. Victor was right. You're a CNT, etc." He basically typed an entire essay. It was pretty funny but also disturbing. I couldn't believe a man I thought I loved was saying such nasty and disrespectful things to me. I texted back, "Lol, alright. Have fun calling me whatever the fuck you want with Victor. I won't be around to take it. We're done." His text truly was the last straw for me because he didn't apologize or even try to talk it out. He just immediately jumped to calling me names and saying really horrible things. I took my stuff. Luckily it wasn't much to pack because all the furniture was Mike's, and drove to my sister's, where I'm currently living with her and her girlfriend. I hope I can find a permanent living arrangement soon. Once again, thank you so much for all the support. I wouldn't have had the courage to end things without all the kind words and promises that things will get better, and that I deserve more than this. I was scared to leave because for some reason, people seem to think that women lose their value after turning 30. Looking back, Mike made this message clear to me as well during our relationship. I felt like I was undesirable because of my age and that I was lucky to even have a guy who could stand me. But reading your comments made me realize, I'm still young and there's plenty of time to find someone who will treat me right. Again, I am so incredibly grateful. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, Purple Heart. You are not the asshole. The only correct response from Victor when you told him not to call you that would be, I am so sorry. I won't call you that again. Instead, he deflected the blame to you, and your boyfriend gaslit you. This isn't right at all that you're feeling bad. They are the ones who are rude and behaved totally unacceptably. Can you move out? Not the asshole. I would 100% expect my man to be ready to fight if another man called me a bitch. The least he could have done was tell his friend he couldn't speak to you that way. Would he let his friend call his mom, sister, or daughter a bitch? I highly doubt it, so it's not okay to call you that either. Not the asshole. I'm not sure if I'd ever be comfortable with a man calling me bitch. Don't let your boyfriend gaslight you. You were doing the friend a favor by passing a beer and he calls you a bitch in your own home? BF should have your back, not invalidate you. Not the asshole. It's not that hard to apologize, and that's what Victor should have done. Then he tried to gaslight you when you pointed out that you weren't okay with that. Your boyfriend also owes you an apology, in my opinion. It doesn't matter if you're okay being called that by your friends, because you're absolutely right that it's different depending on who says it. Not the asshole. You stood up for yourself and made it clear it was a problem. Your boyfriend then failed to support you being respected in your own house. What your friends call you is your business and not relevant. If you felt disrespected by the way Victor said it, then you are right to call him out and escalate to asking them both to leave if your man fails to have your back. They both owe you an apology. Especially the boyfriend for failing in the moment to interrupt disrespect and then for gaslighting you to think it was somehow your fault. Am I the asshole for not wanting to rent a boat because I'm pregnant? This is very much so a first world problem and I completely understand that. I also fully understand that this is probably selfish of me. I'm 29 female and I'm currently pregnant with a little girl, 25 weeks. For the past 3 years my husband and I have rented a boat every summer and end up going out on said boat with his best friend of 16 years and his friend's girlfriend. I always have a blast. Every single time. There's never been a dull moment and generally speaking, I look forward to this every year. But here comes the selfish part. I'm kinda bothered being around anyone drinking these days because I can't take part in it. I don't mind when my husband has a few around me, usually, but anything beyond that can be, I guess, triggering? Now, the way it usually works is that my husband, myself and his buddy's girlfriend will all have drinks while his buddy drives the boat around. He never drinks, he is a recovering alcoholic and doesn't mind people drinking around him but doesn't drink himself. We never get sloshed or anything and take safety very seriously, but we still have a few whenever we are out boating, and like I said, our buddy is always sober. Obviously this year will be different. So, unfortunately, his buddy essentially wants to fall off the wagon. He says that where I am pregnant and will obviously have to remain sober, that I be in charge of driving the boat around while everyone else drinks. I know it's selfish to have issue with this, but I truly do have a big issue with it. I don't want to be around them when they are drinking and feel left out, essentially, but I also don't want to take part in basically condoning this guy falling off the wagon either. I don't want to take witness to it. My dad is a severe alcoholic and I watch him fall off the wagon several times and it's not a good feeling. That, and to be quite frank, I don't even want to drive the boat. I don't enjoy driving the boat anyways, but adding being hot and pregnant to it, being surrounded by drinking, and I can almost guarantee I won't have a good time at all. My husband is a bit upset with me about it because, well, he wanted to do this for my birthday coming up next month and I'm truly just not into it. Where it's kind of like an ongoing tradition, he is pretty bummed out and his buddy has made a comment about it being kind of selfish and petty of me. My husband does defend me, though I see his friend's point. Am I the asshole? ETA. Me not being able to drink is not the only reason I don't want to go. I just want to clarify. Yes, it is a part of the reasoning, but it's also because I don't want to drive the boat around all day. I don't want to watch our friend fall off the wagon and basically condone it, and I don't want to be in a position of being hot and irritable while on a boat with no escape while everyone else is having a good time. I don't want to ruin their days because of my crankiness. I never said my husband couldn't go. I said that nowhere in my post, so please stop reaching. I only said I didn't want to. Not the asshole. I can't believe that your husband wants to do this for your birthday. Sounds like it's just for his best friend. You would be the asshole if you just didn't want to be around anyone that is drinking. But it would be different if you offered. You're being told that's what is happening. Definitely say no and put your foot down. Not the asshole. I'm questioning your husband's morals though. He's upset because you won't rent a boat and drive it so his friend can essentially throw away his sobriety and life as a recovering alcoholic? And your husband doesn't, I don't know, advise against this and try to be supportive of addiction survivors? And now, this same addict buddy is calling you selfish for not helping him get a chance to get piss drunk again for the first time, and your man is still friends with him? Nah. Not the asshole. I would not be supporting someone falling off the wagon, either. And I would not want to be around it. Especially not knowing how he will then behave, given that he clearly had an issue that required him to stop to begin with. A pregnant lady on a boat where everyone else is intoxicated seems very dangerous, for you. Not the asshole. While yes, you are being selfish, being pregnant is the time to be selfish. An alcoholic plans to get off the wagon on that trip, so it can get very messy, very quickly. For the safety of you and the baby, you shouldn't put yourself in charge of a boat full of drunk people, it's just not smart. Not the asshole. Imagine you're out on a boat and have an emergency with nothing but a bunch of drunk people to help you. This doesn't sound safe at all. If your husband's buddy wants to drink, it's not your business to stop him. What if your husband stays sober with you and drives the boat? I have my doubts he would be able to keep that commitment, though. Am I the asshole for my affair ruining my podcast? For the past year, I have been part of AD&D podcast with Jem, 25F, Eve, 30F, May, 22F, and Rain, 30NB. Chuck, 25M, is the DM. May and Rain have dated for 4 years. Their characters are dating in the show, and have forced their relationship to be the show's focus. Development for any other character is always second to their flirting. Once, when setting up a rare plot point for my character, I was cut off in the middle so the two of them could flirt for the remaining 2 hours of the session. This stretches 1-2 episodes into 8+ episodes. All social media is about their relationship, with no mention of other characters. I talked to Chuck about these issues, but he excused the behavior as May and Rain being big personalities that deserve more of the spotlight. There have been many other cases of problematic behavior by May and Rain, like censorship, keeping players from opportunities, and recording through medical issues. Recently Eve left because of these issues. Jem, Eve, and I are close from talking about issues we have in our lives and the podcast. Last night I was pulled into a group call with the cast and was fired from the podcast for inappropriate behavior. They said Jem told them details about our friendship. They demanded that I fess up to an affair with Jem and disgusting behavior, although everything they listed as problematic was just normal friend behavior. Jem was as confused as I was, as we are just friends, and we both said as such. Here is the thing. My partner is close with Jem too, and they joke about running away together. When this was brought up, they brushed it off, and said the podcast cannot continue due to Jem and I's behavior. This entire time, Chuck was basically silent, only noting that trust was broken. Worst example of something they considered to be disgusting behavior. Once I made plans to meet up with Jem. She ended up being near my work, so I grabbed dinner with her and her brother the night before we planned. We all still spent the next day together as scheduled, partner included. Jem and I bought each other dice. When explaining nothing bad happened, they insisted we had secret meetings and that our behavior is cheating. They even said that buying dice for each other made May want to throw up. This was probably the worst behavior brought up in the 45 minutes of being screamed at. This entire time, no one asked to speak to my partner or Eve. Since then, the three of them have told most people in our community about our affair. Jem has not stopped apologizing for telling May things about us, but we are fine as she did not disclose anything I consider private. Jem explained that she was wary of me at first from past experiences but that stopped when she got to know me, meaning the issues brought up now are over 6 months old. I feel that the three of them are trying to make sure they are not seen as the reason the show is ending, and using us as scapegoats. Not the asshole. These people have the maturity of 12-year-olds. Info. How is ownership of a podcast determined and how were you actually fired? Huh? I'm glad I don't understand what this means. Not the asshole. And if that's all it takes to have an affair. My husband is about to be so upset. Rolling on the floor laughing tears of joy.